blocks, or using for some really wonderful medallions. Hello friends, and welcome to the Quilters Apothecary studio. We are hopping on right now because we've had a lot of requests for matching quilt rulers to go with our shapes oval set. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I just wanted to say real quick, we actually carried these all the time a while back, and now what we do is, because we try to keep watch on our stock and not carry so much at one time, we actually release things about once a year just to kind of give people a chance. And we've had a lot of people say, will you please bring back the ovals? And so we temporarily have brought back a nice amount for you to get, but there's not a ton, so you definitely want to go ahead and order them. Now let's talk about exactly what we have here. So our normal shape set, which is right here, is our ovals, and it's our nested drawing oval set, which are wonderful. It's one of our best sellers in our shapes series. And then of course what we have is the nested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the ovals. Now these are drawing. They are 1/8 inch. We do not use these against the foot of our machine. They are specifically for marking, auditioning, or pre-marking special designs and borders, or motifs and shapes in blocks, or using for some really wonderful medallions. Now with these, what we also have are our quilting rulers that go along with these. Now obviously our quilting rulers are 1/4 inch smaller in the diameter, so that when the quilting line happens with a 1/4 inch foot, they match exactly the marking ruler. Because with stuff like this, I find that you definitely want to pre-mark, and then you want to grab a ruler that is compatible, and you want to go ahead and quilt it. Now yes, a lot of times I will use some of those special little tools that a lot of people have, which are the little round things that you can stick a marking tool in and actually mark around a quilting ruler. But with ovals and some of the other shapes, you need something that's a little more perfect. You need a set such as this. And ovals have become extremely popular, much like the hexagons. So we brought back this quilting set for a limited time. Again, I think we have about 50-ish sets available, and so it is the time to get them, because they usually go pretty quick, within 2 weeks to a month, so you want to grab them up while we have them. And of course we're going to go over a few different things. Here you're definitely going to see how some of the designs that we can actually utilize these for in just a minute. But with this, I just wanted to go over the quilting set. Actually, we have this one, which matches the large, and of course it's 1/4 inch all around smaller to match perfectly what you mark with the drawing ruler. And then of course the next size down. So each of these tiers of rulers that you mark with, we have the existing ruler in the set. Now the last two here, the smaller ones, are of course our puzzle piece. We do our puzzle piece because we definitely do not want anybody holding something this small to try to quilt around. You're going to end up running a needle through your finger. And so we like to do the puzzle piece, which of course is very simple to use. You just simply take the tape off, and then you would of course open them up. Let me open this up. There we go. Put this around your foot, reattach, and tape it, and then usually I will tape across the top. Excuse my fumble there. And then it's easier to go inside and match exactly this one as well as the tiny one. Alright, so that is our set. And so now let's head over and let's see a few clips of what exactly we can do. Some of the things that I like to do is to create some really cool borders as you see here. These are really fun. There's a couple different versions. I mean, there are myriad potential available designs that you can come up with as you practice on paper with the drawing ruler, but these are of course a couple of the really cool ones that I like to do pretty regular. And then of course I like to use the ovals to create some really wonderful inner medallions for blocks, or actually sometimes I like to use those in borders, or I like to use them free floating in the open space of modern quilts, which works really, really wonderful. If you've taken my shapes class, you'll know that we do a lot of different design work with that. The other thing that I would suggest is we have a bunch of videos with all the different shapes on what to do over on the Patreon channel. So go give that a shot and check out our Patreon channel. It is for a nominal fee a year, and we have hundreds of videos to actually take you and fulfill all of the wonderful dreams that you have with your quilting journey. So now I'm going to give you a minute to see some of the really cool things quilted out, and we have a link down below for you to go to order your set of the oval quilting rulers to match the oval shapes for drawing. Get rid of that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a basic wreath. So again, I would use my middle because I want 3 ovals. And I am using a blue Marks Be Gone on this wonderful hand die that I have. Let me see, how big do I want that? I think I want my middle feathers to be just a little bit smaller. So there's going to be our spine for our oval feather. Line that up. It's our outer boundary to make it look oval shaped. So now we have our 3 shapes. And as I've shown everybody before, I always say make sure you locate your 9 o'clock, and also make sure that you give yourself a line in that second section so that you can work around. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be sort of kinda. Alright, so now for this middle one, here is our oval that matches our drawing oval. So the line that the drawing oval makes is the line that we use for, of course, to line up our other oval. So I am going to use this to get that perfect oval shape for the spine of our ovals, but I just realized I have to take just a second and throw in my extended base, so I'll be right back. So we have our wreath 3 ovals all drawn out. I've locked my stitches, got my base on. You always want to remember, get an extended base. And I've got my ruler in place. I have a little bit of sticky on the back of the ruler. I like that for when we're dealing with shapes, just to stop any shifting so it ends up back at the right place. I'm going to go ahead, hit my start, follow that, got my finger holes to keep me leveraged out when I get to there. Now I can shift my fingers safely. Come around, I'm going to go just a little higher for a second. Get rid of my tail. Come down, pause, Now I'm ready to start feathering away. So now we're going to start with our feathers, and I'm going to change my cruise speed to a little higher. I like a little bit of speed. Everything goes smoother. I'm stretching those feathers right out to the middle. Come around and notice that I'm going right to that line. Now I can come up. Close it off. Now I've done my inside portion. Now I'm going to move out to my outer portion. And again, remember, I don't want to come straight out with a shepherd's hook. I want to come up at a nice 45-degree angle. Back. Around. Back. Around. For this part, I'm going to shift my handle. Now I can space this out. I've got room here. I'm going to split that space in half so that I don't have two hooks right next to each other. Now what I want to do, just because, I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to replace it. And what I want to do is to thicken that spine just a little bit. I want to pop that out. Do you have to? No. I just like to thicken it. Make it pop a little bit if I'm doing something showy. Now obviously this is a sample for filming that we're showing here. So it's imperfect. Because I'm using a dark thread, which I wouldn't use on a piece of fabric like this unless I were really showing off. But now we've got our piece. I'm going to go ahead, lock our stitches. Let me move out of the way here. There we go. Now we have our beautiful oval feathered wreath. So now we're going to do something with a little bit more of a modern flair. So we're going to start here. I'm going to do my outside. I'm going to go ahead. Mark my centers all the way through, just like that. Give myself a guideline. Center. Center. Grab my next one, and remember we have our vertical, horizontal, as well as our 45 degrees right in there. So I'm now going to go ahead, start here. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the bottom portion right down to the nap right here, just to kind of get that offset look. Now I'm going to go ahead, grab the next smallest one, bring that one down there. Again, I want to make sure those are lined up vertically. Grab my next one. Make sure that I line this up here and that one up there. When I want something that has a very cool modern feel, or if I want to do half of an oddball butterfly wing, that would be a great way to do that. Again, we want to remember this has brown paper on the back. I leave mine on until I don't want them on there. It's for shipping, for protection. There we go. So now we have our base for a really cool design there, something a little more modern. So on our ovals we have our marks so that we can locate the center from our other marks and line it up perfect. I always still eyeball to make sure that it looks like a nice 1/4 inch around the outside. And I got my cruise set just a little high, so I'm going to take that down a little lower. Now I am going to go ahead and thicken this line a little bit. One thing I did not do was I did not add adhesive to the back of this ruler, but I do have my leverage handle. This leverage handle, remember, is not something that we actually hold on to like this. It's simply there to kind of give us just a little bit leverage for those of us that have trouble with flat rulers. Or arthritis or carpal tunnel might be affecting us a bit. But my suggestion is always put something just a little bit more slick, because again, these rulers, no matter the ruler, is going to slide on top of the slippery fabric and the base. Coming around. Reposition. Meet back. Almost perfect, not quite. Again, that is why we want to have a little bit of either the handy grip on the back of our rulers or a little bit of adhesive spray. Now, I always say handy grip because the adhesive sprays that we used to love, they no longer make anymore. Okay, so we have finished that one. I'm going to come right back over, follow that line back, and now we're just going to work our way around with each of the different size rulers. Okay, now we next have our next oval in line. Come around. Thicken that up and follow through with each of our next sizes. Now this one, I have the adhesive handy grip on the bottom, and that feels much better. My line is dead on. Bring that down. Grab the next size. And again, I'm lining up my center, relining my ruler. And just having these little holes here just to kind of have a little bit of leverage. For the smaller ovals. Now we're getting down to some really tiny ovals, and of course I wouldn't have anybody hold an oval that small, so again we have our puzzle piece. So now I've got stick them on the back. I took off our tape that they ship in, which is the Blues Painter's tape, and then I put our Quilters Apothecary 1/4 inch tape there, and that just kind of holds that nice and steady. Now, as I use this through many months now, I can just pull that tape back, undo this, put that foot right around there, put this guy here, and then very simply put my tape back. Now what I love about these puzzle pieces is this. Number one, we have them at just the perfect place as far as tightness for that puzzle piece here, so that they're easy to hold together, but yet if we try to get it perfectly matched, what'll happen is you'll struggle trying to get them open. And so we have our wonderful ruler maker do it at just the perfect pressure, which is why I like to use that tape. And also we don't have a notch going in there so that you're going to get a ba-bump, ba-bump. That is definitely the benefit of these wonderful puzzle piece type rulers from Quilters Apothecary. So 1, 2, I'm going to come around, 1, 2, we've got our handles here, I can just slide right in there, 1, 2, again, obviously I'm going to want a little bit of drama in this particular design, mind your fingers, as you go around, back, forth, and notice how everything is right in place and goes right back where it needs to go. So that is our first one. We'll pull that out of there. Now we'll pull our next guy in. And the adhesive that I used to love to use on the back of our rulers is gone. I just used our last spritz. So it is gone. It was a wonderful 620. And there is no other adhesive. The 505, 510, 605, any of they don't work well. So now I am back to using the wonderful handy grip. Now I do love the handy grip. The handy grip works great. Take that off, pop that, go in there, put that in place. And do you see how easy that puzzle piece goes together, and yet it is locked perfectly? And then with that tape, that just gives me a nice hold so that I can maneuver and hold. Now I want to make sure again to line up my middle to middle. Get that there. Line that up. Come around. Again, watch your fingers. Now I could have flipped this around the other way, but for the camera I would have my handle normally down here. Now at this point we could be done, but that being said, we have this wonderful design, as you can see here, which gives a modern appeal. And what if we put another one here? You'd have this wonderful oddball butterfly wing. Or you could create a body of a butterfly and have those really cool wings and get a really mod looking design. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look. I've got fill, don't fill, fill, don't fill, fill, don't fill. Or don't fill, fill, don't fill, fill, don't fill, fill. So you can make a decision either to leave it like this, which gives a really cool design, but I like getting a little bit of dimension. So what I'm going to do is, by the magic of filming, let me get this out of the way so you can see what we have here. Okay. By the magic of filming, we will come back and you will see how this looks when I fill in every other one.